On tonight's edition of The Overtime, the Flagstaff Eagles are soaring high after a great win this past week as they look to continue their hot streak. The Coconino Panthers are also looking to continue to build off their win last week after a high-scoring game. NAU Soccer picks up their first road win against Colorado College. And NAU Football brought the heat this past week. All that and more coming up next on this edition of The Overtime. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Cordero McMurray. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Ashley Myshot.
Thanks, Cordero. It was an exciting week with a lot of wins, so let's jump right in.
Well, let's get down to business and hit our first topic for the night, kicking things off with high school football. The Flagstaff Eagles were 2-1 at home with one win on the road. They dominated against Cortez this past week, winning 47-14. The Eagles now possess a 3-1 record. Ashley, what have you seen from the Eagles this season that they are doing really well with?
You know, Cordero, the Eagles have really surprised me so far this season with a 3-1 record. Not just winning, but winning big, almost doubling the amount of points put up by the other team each week, and are off to a great start. With 35 points first half last Friday against Cortez, the Eagles played a strong, fast offense with no scoring drive taking more than 4 plays. Senior Tim Dana had a big first half for the Eagles, catching 2 passes for 60 yards, making his way into the end zone once in the first half and adding a second long touchdown in the second half. Junior Gavin Randall ended the night with 8 carries for 101 yards and 2 scores. The Eagles played a strong game defensively and did a great job wrapping up and making tackles. If the Eagles keep playing like this, I see them going far and making playoffs for the first time in years.
Well, let's not forget about senior quarterback Chris Singleton, who really opened up the offense for the Eagles, going for 4 for 4 with 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. If the team can continue to stay at a high offensive tempo and stay focused defensively, they can limit the other team from scoring and come out with a win, which will push their record to 4-1 against Bradshaw Mountain, whose record is 2-2. Well, flying over across town to the Coconino Panthers, the Panthers are overall 2-2 this season, coming off of a big win against Mohave Thunderbirds as they won 54-48. This was a high-scoring game for both teams, but it all came down to the fourth quarter to see which team they wanted it the most. Ashley, what did the Panthers do well to pull this away?
This was a great game for both teams. With a combined 102 points, this game broke Coconino High School record for total points in a game. Coconino winning 54-48, scoring on 6 of their 7 first half possessions. What the Panthers did well was producing points on most of their possessions. David Quick carried the ball 31 times for 325 yards and 4 touchdowns. Senior wide receiver Jared Baca put up 4 catches for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Ty Furr scored 1 touchdown on 54 yards. Although the defense struggled to control the game and the offense had some bad turnovers late in the game, the Panthers were able to overcome that to come out on top this shootout.
Well, let's not forget about senior Christian Casados, who did a phenomenal job at the quarterback position. He threw for 4 touchdowns to lead the Panthers to a 54-48 home victory against the Thunderbirds. Now, to keep this momentum up for their next game against the Winslow Bulldogs this week, the Panthers will need to polish up their defense in the fourth quarter. They had a fumble, a tossed interception, along with a turnover on downs. If they can clean up a few of these mistakes and find a way to hold the running game against them this week, they can come out with the victory and improve their record to 3-2. Well, heading to the soccer field, the NAU women's soccer team, they picked up their first road victory against Colorado College after coming off of a loss against Air Force. Ashley, how did the women's soccer team come out with this road victory?
Yeah, Cordero, NAU women's soccer played an action-packed game. Both freshman defender Amanda Bennett and junior defender Riley Porter got their first career goals this game. However, Colorado College didn't make it easy. The Jacks needed to play better defensively, with Colorado College taking 15 shots in the first half. The Tigers were awarded a penalty kick, which bounced off goalkeeper Megan Dickman's hands, but was then trapped by the Tigers, getting the first goal of the night. In the second half, NAU's offense attacked, tying up the game, and then just a few minutes later took the lead as Porter's ball found the back of the net. The lead didn't last long due to a second penalty kick for the Tigers, bringing the game back to a tie at 2. Lumberjacks junior forward Adrian Nix only needed 1 minute of overtime to put the Tigers away, putting winning ball in the net, giving NAU their third win, putting their record at 3-5-1. It was a close, exciting game too. It was an exciting close to the non-conference schedule, and I think the Jacks are definitely a team to keep an eye on this year.
And also a key play that sealed the deal was Adrian Nix's game winner off the cross from Ali Alexandru. The women's soccer team hung in there this game to finish strong. As Coach Andre Luciano said, they have been fighting all season long, and this was their first time that their fight has paid off, and I totally agree. They grabbed this road victory from Colorado, which they needed to give them some momentum heading to their next game. Since they're coming off such a great road win, they will need to continue to bring that same fight and stay focused in order to beat Portland State, who is currently 2-6. Well, cruising on over to the Sky Dome, NAU football team played New Mexico Highlands, and they were firing on all cylinders with an outstanding 73-3 victory. Ashley, what was working well for the Lumberjacks in this victory?
Lumberjacks had a strong game last Saturday, crushing New Mexico Highlands 73-3, with Cookes tying the school record for passing touchdowns in a game previously set by him last season with 7 on 13 completions and 21 attempts. Emmanuel Butler found himself receiving 5 of those scores, and Elijah Marks ended the game with 5 catches totaling 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marks also brought in a 34-yard reception. This was a strong offense with many carries, and the Cowboys just couldn't keep up. It'll be interesting to see if the Lumberjacks can play at the same level against 4th-ranked Eastern Washington this Saturday in the Dome. The Jacks are the only team in the Big Sky that has been able to beat Eastern Washington twice in the past 3 years, so it looks to be a good, tough game coming up.
Besides the offense, we cannot forget about the defense, holding the Cowboys to just 235 yards on 64 plays. Leading the defense was sophomore cornerback Maurice Davidson with 7 tackles, and Taylor Powell, who had added 6 tackles. Also another Lumberjack on defense was junior safety Wes Sutton, who picked up an 18-yard interception and forced a fumble. With this outstanding victory and excellent execution, I believe the Lumberjacks can do well this Saturday in the Sky Dome. But in order for them to do that, they will need to continue to bring that high, fast offense and strong defense so that they can improve their record to 2-2.